I bet you have tried and tried every single tip that you can possibly imagine to try to get your hips open at impact, and it just won't happen. Well, I'm gonna give you one really simple drill that's gonna make it super effortless. So I'm gonna grab 2 golf balls. Another great way you can do this is use like a wedge, like doorstop, and you can put those wedges under your heel and your toe. But this is a great way. You're always gonna have some golf balls with you. You're not always gonna have a doorstop. You can use whatever you want to. You can put 2 rolled up towels. Get creative with it. What I'm doing here is I'm putting one under my right heel, and then I'm putting another one under my right toe. Now, when I open my hips, I'll get to this in a second, I'll stand beside them. When I open my hips, what pushes the right hip forward is me taking this right foot and pushing this way. So as my right foot comes on the toe, my heel comes up, and I'm pushing into the ground that way, that brings my right hip forward. That's how I'm gonna clear my hips open that way. Now, when I'm looking at my lead foot, when I push, I'm actually gonna go from the ball of my foot, I'm gonna push this, I'm gonna drive this golf ball into the ground this way, and then back on my heel. That's what pushes this left hip back. So it's both motions happening together that allow you to rotate your hips as you're coming through. So simply put, all I gotta do is I gotta stand on these 2 golf balls, and now you'll see my right foot is down, my left foot is up, and I'm in a position to where if I push down in the direction that my feet are pointing, I'm gonna spin my body really easily. So my right foot, I'm gonna feel like I go from the heel and then I push into the toe. And my left foot, I'm gonna feel like I go from the toe, drive it into the ground and push to my heel. So when I do that, that's really gonna get my body opening up, or my hips opening up a lot. And if you really wanna do it a ton, if you finally wanna get your hips open once and for all, pause at impact and have both feet off the golf balls. I'm on my right toe, I'm on my left heel like that. So I'm gonna start by kind of pushing into the golf balls, and then I'm gonna come off of those, and you'll see just how open my hips are here. It really, really exaggerates it. So don't worry about squishing these into the ground. It's gonna be completely fine. But I'm gonna, as soon as I make the top of my backswing, then I'm gonna start getting that feeling like I've just had. You'll be amazed at how much more you're able to open up when you do this. I almost feel like I wanted to spin all the way open, because I usually do open up enough. This thing's got me spinning like a top. So the opposite is true if you wanted to work on your backswing. Maybe you have a little bit of limited hip rotation in the backswing. I would just reverse those around into the opposite side of the foot. So now my toe, my heel would be up and of my left foot, and my toe would be up of my right foot. Well, as I want to rotate back this way, I'm going to be pushing that way with my lead foot, going back to the heel. That's going to move this hip back a ton. I'm going to be going this way. My toe is going to be coming up into the air. I'm going to have a little heel lift on my front foot. And when I put both of those together, now I get a ton of hip rotation here. You look at it from this angle, I'm getting probably 60, 70 degrees of hip rotation. One thing that players always get wrong, in my opinion, people had this right 20, 30, 40 years ago, the heel lift. Everybody that I get to lift that lead heel a little bit in the backswing gets more rotation and more power without even feeling like they're having to swing any harder. So I am a big fan of the heel lift in the backswing. So make a few swings working on your clearing the hips open at the start, and then once you feel comfortable clearing those hips open a little bit more, now let's add a little bit more power to it, and let's open the hips more in the backswing. So if I open more going back, I'm wound up, I have tons more potential for speed, for power. I don't have to be big, strong, athletic to hit it a long way. I'm wound up here now. I don't even feel like I'm tight. I'm super loose when I'm in my backswing here because my feet are allowing me to do that. And then in the downswing, I add to it opening coming on through, and now you got your big muscles, your body doing the work. All this easy body rotation adds a lot of speed and a lot of distance without even really feeling like you have to swing that hard. So let me go ahead and give it a whirl. I'm gonna make a big backswing, really open up coming through. Let's see if we can get some good distance. There we go. Hit that one fantastic. Now, there's one piece missing from this. I gave you a lot of great lower body stuff, but it's not really the lower body that creates most of the speed. With the lower body, the hips, that's where we allow our body to wind up and unwind. We start using these big pieces of the body. Once those get moving, it's easy to create speed. But the speed, the true speed, happens from delivering it into the handle. The only place you hold onto this golf club is the handle. So in this video, we talked a lot about how to get the lower body working right, but you have to add what to do with the upper body or it's never gonna work. You're never gonna transfer that energy out to the golf ball. Now I have a great video for you talking about how to finish this off, how to get the upper body working correctly so that we can get tons and tons of distance and it match up perfectly with what we talked about with the lower body. I'm gonna play a preview of that here in a second, and I'm gonna talk about how to unlock not only your hips like we talked about here, but I'm gonna build on that and talk about how to unlock the upper body too, to get that big turn, even if you're not very flexible, even if you're a little bit more up in age, even if you feel like there's no way you've ever made a great turn in your entire life, I'm gonna unlock your body so that you can make that good turn. I'll play a preview of that video here in just 1 second. All you need to do is see one of these little round circle cards pop up with some text on it. Click on one of those cards, or if you don't see those somewhere on the screen, don't worry about that. Go down to the description below and click the link there and you'll get instant access to this video where I talk about unlocking the upper body and getting a whole heck of a lot of power. Let's go and get started. Most of the instruction out there today is killing you of your power. The things that they're telling you to do can make you hit it shorter, and worse than that, not even any more consistent. I'm gonna go over some of the real secrets to powerful, consistent golf in this video. Let's go and get started. So here's some of the keys into making that happen. If you wanna incorporate this in your swing, let me break it down exactly what you should do. Number one, let's focus on the belt buckle. This is another big misconception. I want to keep that belt buckle facing the ball so I can really stretch out my midsection and really get loaded up. I'm not a big fan of that. That's really going to kill your distance. In your backswing, I want to feel like that belt buckle rotates to the right and you really let your hips and legs be loose. Notice how my legs are moving here. I'm not trying to keep those rigid and tight, or I'm really just taking all the speed out of my swing. All right, so on that one, I really felt like I let my belt buckle rotate back. And a good key to this is feel like your knees are loose. Feel like when you make your backswing. Piece number two, let's go ahead and rotate our shoulders. When I let my lower body rotate, my upper body can rotate a lot better also. So if I let my hips move, my shoulders will move more. So here, once I've got my hips working well, I'm gonna add to that my shoulders making a big rotation. On average, on the PGA Tour, players are getting about 120 degrees of shoulder rotation. I don't see hardly anybody getting less than 90 degrees. So it starts with the hips, knees nice and loose, allow the belt buckle to rotate, and then from there, so those are two really big keys. But here's the truth. There's one thing, and if you don't do this correctly, nothing else is gonna work.